Morning, friends. We are going to do a little bit of painting today, and we are going to make ourselves a rainbow bear. And this is my little friend that I've already created. Thank you. And I did this with just a marker and a little bit of watercolor paint. Now, I know all my friends don't have watercolor paint at home. So what you can do in order to get this same kind of effect, if you've got, just some crayons at home, that's fine. You can just kind of go along and give him the little tick marks and create the same kind of furry texture on him that I have done. You also don't have to create the rainbow for the bear. I just like everything with a little bit of color in my life, especially while we're all stuck here at home for the next few weeks, for the foreseeable future, who knows how long. So, we're just adding a pop of color to everything. So we did our little bear here, our little friend, in all the colors that I had in my paint palette. So for my students, a bunch of you got sent home with some books not long ago. They were donated to our school. So if you find your books, some of them had a paint palette on them. If not, if anyone's recently been to the store, I know a lot of times the Dollar Tree will have paint sets. I do have mine here. So I've got just a basic watercolor set that we would use in a classroom. I don't have my fancy watercolor paints out right now. And that's what I used to create this guy. Again, if you don't have them, you certainly could use a marker and just kind of get a little tick mark going, or some crayons. You don't have to paint along with me. That is more than okay. If you are going to paint, I do recommend that you're going to do the snout and the eyes in either a permanent marker so that the colors don't run as you're doing the painting, or a black crayon. You don't want to mess up his little face there. So we're going to get started. You have a piece of paper in front of you. I used a small piece of paper. I got my watercolors. I got my cup of water with my brush. I've got my black marker here, and I am ready to go. So to do the face, my eyes, my nose are all an oval shape. And I'm going to start with my nose. I'm going to put it right in the center of my paper. Not too big, like the size of a little jelly bean. I'm just going to kind of color it in there. Not all the way. I'm going to give it just a little bit of like that shine that they have. And I'm going to come down with a little curved line on each side so it looks like my bear is smiling. Let's stick them in an oval. And that also gives me a little space so I know where to not paint. If you want to give them a couple little bear freckles, go for it. I didn't do that on my first one, but you can. It's no big deal. And then, of course, his little eyes. And there's many ways to color in the eyes. Of course, I did it and colored most of it black. And I left just a little white. So he had his little bear shine in his eyes. And I'm just doing this quickly so we can get to the texture part. And I gave him some little happy eyebrows. Ta-da! And that's all I did for my bear face. Pardon me. So we're ready for the paint part. And it was pretty simple. And what I did to kind of help myself and keep my brush clean is I started with my lightest color and went along. And that's one thing I try to recommend with my kids if we're painting with all the colors, so they can keep their brush cleaner. Sometimes the smaller children have a hard time really cleaning the brush. Depending on how old they are, obviously the older kids, they have a much easier time keeping their brushes clean. But do him however you see fit. So I'm going to start with my yellow because it's my lightest color. And I'm just going to start randomly placing just some yellow marks in and around, just a little flick of the wrist. And that's it. That's all that there is to it. Easy peasy. I'm not covering it with the yellow because obviously I've got to go in. Still do more colors. Don't forget the trick with watercolors, my little friends, is you need water to make it work. Won't work without that water. And then I'm just going to go in with my next color and just, again, a little flick of the wrist. And and just filling in some more areas. Some of my lines are a little thicker, some are a little shorter, some are a little skinnier. And for a student, they may find it easier if they are kind of moving the paper as they go instead of holding it still. They may not be able to kind of flick their wrist in all general directions. And that is more than fine if that's what they have to do. I tell the kids that our paper does not have to stay stationary. They see Mrs. Mims paint and a lot of times try and copy me, and they don't have to do that at all. And obviously Mrs. Mims is working at a fairly quick pace here. Your paper does not have to go that quickly. I've already done this a couple times. So yours is going to probably take you a little bit more time. But you'll just go through and add all the colors. Now, do you have to create one that is a rainbow? No. If you wish to do yours in just maybe a color scheme, like cool colors, warm colors, or just in your favorite color, or if you simply want to make, oh my God, I'm going in the same color again, a brown bear, black bear, do a polar bear one in it. Not unless you have some kind of white paints and color paper, then you could make yourself a little polar bear. That'd be fun. But I don't have white. Actually, I do have white watercolor. And my fancy watercolors, I do. I just chose not to do that. But you get the general idea until it's all done. So that's it. That's how to make this cute little bear. And I hope you guys like it. Just something different to do. So let me show you a quick variation on working with the, if you were going to do this with a marker or a crayon. If you're one of those folks who has to use a crayon, Mrs. Mims always comes prepared. You're just going to grab your crayon and you're just going to do your tick marks all the way around. And on this one, it's going to be much easier for you to kind of do your, my daughter's freaking out over the bear. She clearly likes it quite a bit.
It's cute.
And you just create your tick marks with a crayon. So you're going to get a very similar effect. You're still going to get that little furry effect. You're probably going to have to draw a few more of the tick marks, but and same kind of drawing technique for your marker as well. But there you go, folks. Real simple, real easy to adapt. I hope you like it, and I will catch you guys a little bit later on. Have a good one, friends. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.
Mom.